Okay, I have a slight confession. I've been showing you the old way to declare functions, and we've actually, over the years, evolved to have nicer ways of declaring functions that take a lot less time to type, and they're just a lot smaller and they take up a lot less space on the page. And so I'm going to kind of walk you through that evolution so that you'll understand the newer functions when you see them written. So let's start by defining a function. We'll call our function um, clean up string. And we're going to write the same function we wrote in the last video. Well, this function takes an input of a messy string. It does some work. So we said messy string equals messy string dot trim dot to uppercase, and then we returned messy string. So what this does is it takes an input string, trims it, uppercases it, stores it in a variable, and then returns it. Well, we can actually write this a lot shorter. So we can say function clean up string, and we'll take in a messy string. And then on the next line, we're going to return messy string dot trim dot to uppercase. So what we've done is we've condensed doing work and returning into the same line. So now we're doing our work and then immediately outputting it, which is cool. And it's definitely shorter. But let's make this even shorter. So let's look at this function and determine what parts of it actually matter. Well, creating a name, that seems helpful. If we want to call it later, we probably need to give it a name. We definitely need to take input. It wouldn't be a function if it doesn't take input. It wouldn't be a function if it doesn't do work. And it wouldn't be a function if it doesn't return output. Or at least generally functions take input, do work, and give an output. So let's see. When we write a function that takes input, we use parentheses. When we do work, we use curly braces. And when we give output, we use the word return. So that right there seems to be, to me, the key points of this function. So then why are we typing the word function over and over? If we know generally that something with parentheses is a function, then do we really need the keyword function? Well, I'm going to show you a shorter way of writing this. So, well, we want to create a name, and we know that a variable, so I could say let my var equal clean up string. We know a variable can equal a function. So if we know that this, and then now we could call that function by typing my var and putting parentheses and giving it the messy string that it needs. So we know we can write a function and then store it in a variable, and then we can call that function by using that variable's name. We also know that the required parts of a function are input, work, and output, and that can be typically written like this. So let's apply that to make this function syntax shorter. So I'm going to comment this out, and I'm going to comment this out. And so one way we could do this is we could do const or the word let to create a variable, and we're going to call it clean up string. And then we're going to set it equal to a function. Well, I told you the important part of a function is parentheses and then curly braces in return. So let's create parentheses and then let's do curly braces and return and a semicolon. So you'll notice that there is a red squiggly and it tells you what it's expecting. It's kind of spoiling my surprise. But we know that we need to take some input. So let's put that here. So we'll say messy string. And we know that we need to return some output. Well, what are we returning? Well, we were able to simplify it to just this line right here. So we'll copy it and we'll paste it. We're going to return messy string.trim.to uppercase. Well, as it happens, if you want to declare a function this way, you do need one special character. And that special character is the arrow function. So you put an equal sign and a greater than sign, and that creates an arrow. What that does is it says, hey, we're going to take some input. Between the curly braces, we're going to do some work, and wherever you find the return is where we're going to give some output. So this line of code right here is the exact same thing as lines 15 through 17. We gave it a name, we took input, and then we did some work and returned output on a single line like you did in line 16. And in the next video, I'll show you how to shorten it even more.